Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Dave McKenzie and welcome back to Beyond the Beat Music Studio. All right, so we have another great beginner guitar lesson. Well, I hope it's great. I don't know, I guess you'll be the judge of it. It's a Saturday morning and I'm going to teach you Stand By Me by Ben E. King. So that's an R&B classic, a beautiful bass line, beautiful lyrics, and just a chord progression that just keeps on repeating. So it's a really good song to learn how to play guitar to, and I'm also going to teach you the bass line. So there's a scale that goes really well with this song. It's the C major scale in the first position of the guitar, and all of the notes around that scale. So there's all these notes that happen to be in the key of C right here in the first 3 frets. So I'm going to teach them to you. All right, so that's the first scale. That's where we'll start today. So here's your low E string. All right, actually, let's do a little tuning check. Make sure you're in tune. If you're not in tune, go use another, maybe use an electric tuner would be the best thing. You really need to get one. So play open E. Now play open A. And open D. And open G. And open B. And open E. So it should sound really good. Any sort of tuning infraction results in less than sounding great song, So definitely get your guitars in tune. It's a big battle. You're always trying to get better at tuning, all right? So let's give this a go. So open E. I'm just using my thumb today, all right? You can use a pick if you'd like. Open E, first fret on the E string with your index finger on your left hand plays an F note. Right? And then your third finger on your left hand plays the 3rd fret, which is a bit of a stretch, and that plays a G note. And then an open A, all right? And then second finger plays the B note, and then third finger plays the C note. Now the C scale would start on the C note, right? Obviously C major, but there's different modes of the scale, so you can start on different notes from that scale. So that would be sort of Phrygian from E to E, right? So I don't want to get too much into the modes right now, but I just want you to understand that within the C scale, there's 7 scales, all right, that are possible. So we're at C now on the 3rd fret. You play open D. And the 2nd fret is an E note and of the D string, and then on the 3rd fret is F, and then open G. And then on the 2nd fret is your A note. And then we're going to skip right to the B string. So open B. And then 1st fret is C. And the 3rd fret is D. And then open E string. And then 1st fret is F. And 3rd fret is G. Now, really, those notes need to be memorized. It's a really important thing. And I'm going to reiterate here that I always want you to be trying to get the best tone you can out of every note when you're practicing scales. It's just so important, and there's just so much opportunity when you are practicing scales. If you are going to be practicing, you should be practicing sounding really good, right? So what I mean by the best possible tone is when you pluck a guitar string, if you pluck it too quietly or just with not, it doesn't have the richness in tone. It doesn't have the full, all of the bass, middle, and treble frequencies. Different things sort of affect the note differently. So what we're trying to do is just get the most balanced and full tone that you can out of every single note when you're practicing scales, because that means that you're fretting the scale with your left hand really, really well. Like you're pinning the string nicely against the fret, and you don't have any skin on your finger sort of slipping over into the next fret, so you're muting the string or anything. You're just, if you don't pin a string properly and you pluck with a lot of force on the right hand, we get buzz, all right? So you don't want that. So basically you want to be playing with your fingertip snug against the fret and just getting really full tone, plucking with a lot of force. Now, if you over pluck, if it's too hard, the string just flaps around and the tone is not good. So there's a sweet spot where you're plucking really nice and full. trying to get kind of as much as you can out of the note, especially on an acoustic. I think an electric too, really. You just want the string to ring unimpeded and just a beautiful full ring. So whenever you're practicing your scales, you don't need to understand everything that I just said there, but you do need to understand that you want to get the best possible sound you can, and that's what I'm asking you to do. All right, so let's do that scale. Okay, I'm assuming you'll stop the video and learn all the notes in that scale that I just taught you. So we're going to play the scale just as like half notes, all right? Just going up. I'm going to do it without a drum machine today. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, Okay, so those were just half notes that we were playing. Now we're going to graduate to quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, Okay, now we'll go to eighth notes. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Now triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 and then we'll do 16s, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. All right, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's a good little warm-up on that scale. Now we're going to get right into the bass line of Stand By Me, which is a real beaut. So I've been playing with my thumb today. When you play with your thumb, you get really great tone because it's your biggest finger, right? So it's just really good tone. So the bass line for Stand By Me can be played with your thumb or a pick. You're going to get great tone out of a pick too. So it starts here on the G note, on the E string. So on the 3rd fret on the E string, on the low E. You play that, and then you go right to your B note on your A string, which is on the 2nd fret. So it goes G, B, and then you play the C. And you play the C, C, stop, C, and then let it ring. Okay, and that's that distinct sound. So it goes G, B, C, C, G, B, C, C. That's that cool sound. And then it descends from C down to the A. And then it goes C on the 3rd fret of the A string, B on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then open A. And then you stop it, and it's got that sort of 1, 2, and 3. that's the main pulse of the whole song. So we'll start again. So third fret on the, well, actually no, let's continue on. So we went from C, B, A, and then you can actually slip in a little bass note here on the third fret of the E string, G, A, and then now we're going to do the riff down to the F. So we're going to go A, open A, right? Third fret on the E string, G, and then F, which is first fret on your E string, F, and then it's going to do a little riff up to G, F, A, open, right? And then third fret on the E string, G, G, and then you're back to the initial riff, G, B, C, C, G, B, C, C, and then the song would start again, G, B, C, C, G, B, C, 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 B, A, G, A, G, F, F, A, G, G, B, C, boom, 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 boom. So basically, here's the chord progression. So C chord we've learned. So if you don't know C chord, you can go to the you can go back in the tutorial, or you can just use another guide or something. Maybe Google how to play a C chord. But it's so we start off with C, and then we do another C, 2, 3, and then A minor, which we've learned too. So 2, 3, 4, A minor, right? Now F we haven't learned, so I'm going to talk a little bit about F. Now, the problem with Stand By Me is not really a problem with the song, it's just a problem for a beginner. So it's got an F bar chord. F is a really tough bar chord. So this is a chord that you're going to have to get used to. And it's a tricky thing. So what an F bar chord actually is it looks like I'm playing all of these strings with my first finger and I'm pinning them all down. I'm not really doing that. I'm only pinning the strings that I need. So I'm pinning the low E and then these top two strings, the B and the E, with my first finger. All right. Now I let my finger hang over a little bit. So what you're trying to do, you want to use a knuckly part of your finger. If you use the really soft parts of your finger to try to do bar chords, it doesn't quite work that well. So you really want to get those two strings pinned, all right? So you can actually move that up the neck. You want to be able to get those three notes with your first finger. That's all you have to do. And then these three fingers, your third finger, your pinky, and your second finger, play, I mean, we haven't learned the E major chord yet, but if you put your third finger on the A string, on the third fret, your pinky directly under it, not slip it over into the fourth fret, but snug against the fret and the third fret. So we've got third finger plays the A string, third fret, pinky plays the D string, third fret, and then your second finger plays the G string, second fret. That's a nice little F chord, and then right, then you have your nice bar chord when you get your first finger back down. Right, so and then we go to a G chord. Now, of course, F is going to take some time. What you want to really try to do is once a day. This little exercise should get you there with your F bar chord. So you get the chord formed, pluck every single string one note at a time. It's not going to sound like that at first, okay, because it's tough. Then you shake out your hand a bit, move it up a fret, do it again, shake out your hand. Never just sit here clamped with your hand just tense the whole time. It's not good for you. It's just like any other sort of sport in a way, like you want your muscles to sort of relax and then work and then relax, and you do reps, right? So this would be a G major chord, and that's the cool thing about a bar chord is you can move it anywhere up and down the neck and get different different chords. So shake it out. 4th fret would be G sharp. So it's just it's like boot camp for your left hand. You got to get your left hand in good shape for this song. So this F chord is a real beast. I feel for you, but at the same time too, it's so valuable and it's just such a big part of guitar playing. Why wait till later? So now it's, there's no better time in life than to address things as they come up, or then you just have a pile of things that you haven't addressed. So, get your F chord going. Practice it every day and move it up the fretboard. It's really good because you're going to find certain frets, like maybe when you get to the 5th fret, hey, I can play that chord perfectly there. And then you start to realize why it's a little harder down in the 1st fret, like the frets are a little wider, but the confidence and just like this, just knowing what it should sound like is really encouraging. So, and then you'll find it starts to get hard again once you get up to the top of the, guitar here, up the neck. So anyways, then we go to the G chord, which we've learned, and then we're back to C. So I'm just going to play through it, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, all right? So start again. All right, so that's Stand By Me. That chord pattern cycles for the whole song. So once you know that, you can play it over the whole tune, which is super nice. And what I was doing there is I was going down, up, stop, up, down, up, stop, up. Okay, so what I'm doing again is I've got this technique that I learned from an old banjo book where I use my fingernail on my down strum and my thumbnail on my up strum, and then I use the heel of my hand to stop the strings, from ringing, and that's how I get the little rest. So C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and then it ends on C, 2, 3, 4, C. And now it starts again on C. C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. So really what happens there, I see a pad and paper, and I'll use it to my advantage and I'll help you. So the chord progression goes C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes A minor, 2, 3, 4, and then A minor, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes F major, 2, 3, 4, G major, 2, 3, 4, and then C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, and then at that point there's a repeat, and the beginning of the song, of course, is C. So that's where the all right, I'll show you. All right, maybe I'll show you here. You see that? Actually, no, I'm going to show you there because it makes more sense to just show you here. There we go. So that's the chord progression, all right? So that's why it hangs on C for so long. So the last thing that I'll show you today, just to wrap things up, is you can actually play the bass line with the chords, and it sounds really good. So if you do this little, right? Start again. So I'm sort of slipping the bass line in, and wherever there's little spaces that I can sort of get the chord going, I do. So that may sound really confusing. So I'm going to slow it down for you, all right? I'm going to do it one more time. G, B, C, up, stop, up, C, up. Okay? And then I just do that again. G, B, C, up, stop, up. Or sorry, G, B, C, up, stop, up, C, up. And then the descending bass line into A minor is C, B, A, up, stop, up, A, up. And then we hit the G note. G, A, up, stop, up, A, up. And then it's the descending bass line into the F is A, G, F, up, stop, up, F, up. And then we do the ascending bass line into the G. F, A, G, up, stop, up, G, up. And then it's G, B, C, up, stop, up, C, up, G, B, C, up, stop, up, G, C, up. And then it starts again. I'll just play it for you. Say it with all that going on if you're really talented. I would probably simplify it, you know, for the singing. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So you get the sense of it. Wherever I can sort of slip in, you know, part of the bass line, I do. And then I just sort of keep the strumming nice and consistent to sing with. So tricks of the trade, you know. I hope you enjoyed that video on Stand By Me. I know it got a little bit complex at the end, but I think if you keep on coming back to this, you'll be able to get it. And at the, you know, the very least, what you can just do is you can just sort of strum, when the night has come. You can sort of just strum on the quarter notes. And the land is dark, 3, and the moon, hardest chord there, F, is the only light you'll see. So yeah, so you can always get away with doing, or even something simpler, when the night has come. And that sort of gets the stop. That's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good way to do it. So you play the C chord, C, stop, C, let it ring. C, stop, let it ring. And then A minor, stop, let it ring. A minor, stop, let it ring. F, stop, let it ring. And then G, stop, let it ring. And then C, stop, let it ring. And then again, C, stop, let it ring. And then it would start on C again. C, stop, let it ring. Yeah, so there's a nice makeshift, you know, sort of simple way to do it. And I mean, everything can be sort of hard on the guitar, you know. It is you want to simplify things and really get those fundamentals. So that's a big part of the song, is that little stop, right? Because it just wouldn't sound right without boom, boom, right? It's just so good with that stop. So that's what gives it its groove. And that's all I have to say about that. So I hope that you guys had a good time during this lesson and enjoyed it. And please subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'll see you next time. All right, this was lesson 5. Signing off, Dave McKenzie at Beyond the Beat. Take it easy.